It is day 6, Sons of Thunder podcast. We've been working through the different days and events of Holy Week. Yesterday,
we've got a lot of podcasts.
We have. Like we're pros.
Yeah, we really are. We're pretty sure.
So yesterday we talked about the crucifixion, and you walked us through, the points of the trial and how it was an unlawful trial, and all the different ways of that. And just as we reflect on Christ and everything that he suffered and went through, we could spend the rest of our lives just really diving into that. But there's this day that happens in between, and I think Saturday is actually a pretty important day for us to think about as well. But before we get to Saturday, again, on the cross, you said Jesus kind of reached down or called down in forgiveness on those that were crucifying him. I think about when he says it is finished and everything goes dark, the earth shakes, the guard that cries out, surely this is the Son of God. And so all of these things just happening one after another, like something that I'm really anxious to hear or really understand better when I get to heaven is in Matthew 27, like when Jesus died and all of a sudden, like all these people that are in tombs that like come back to life.
Wow.
And then they don't nobody sees them until after the resurrection. The best I can understand is Jesus is the firstborn from among the dead, and so they had to wait until after. So kind of just further confirmation of the resurrection. But Saturday is this day of waiting. It's this day of silence, right? But I don't really think it needed to be. I think it could have been a day of anticipation.
Yeah.
Right? First,
that's a good point.
The guards at the tomb, right? Like, so you talked about the different theories as to why, the counter theories to the resurrection, and one of them being like, okay, well, the tomb was so guarded, right? And could they have gone and stolen the body? But in Matthew 27, starting in verse 62, it says, the next day, so we're on Saturday, on the preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. Sir, they said, we remember that while he was still alive, that the deceiver, talking about Jesus, said, after 3 days I will rise again. So they wanted Pilate to give an order, right, to be made secure for the tomb to be made secure. So they put guards, sealed it, and all of that. And I think about that as here are men trying to thwart God's plan and his power, right? Like it was already established that this was going to happen, and they tried to stop it. And we often do the same, where we try to get in God's way, or we try to have our will done instead of his. But obviously that didn't work. We know what happened on Sunday. But the main thing I want to think about on Saturday is the disciples. And we know that they were not around. John was the only one at the cross. And so, they're likely in just a feeling of very somber, sad, quiet as they wait, and maybe really afraid about what's going to happen now, what's going to happen next. And like I said, it didn't have to be that way, because Jesus multiple times told them not only about his crucifixion, but he told them about his resurrection. Yeah. And he said, I'm telling you about these things so that when they happen, right, you're ready.
You called the shot.
It's like, you don't have to be afraid when I die, because I'm going to die, and this is how I'm going to die. You can know it was part of the plan.
Yeah.
And because that came true, then you should know that the resurrection is going to happen.
Yeah.
So Saturday could have been a day where they were looking forward. Yeah. It could have been a day of maybe they were doing some preparation for that, right? But instead, fear, sorrow.
Because also, if you think about it, we celebrate New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We don't celebrate Easter Eve.
Right, exactly.
Right? But why not?
Why not?
Why shouldn't we celebrate Easter Eve, right? Just have an anticipation celebration.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what we do in Christmas and all. Yeah, that's really cool. Good point.
Jesus, he told them what was going to happen, but they didn't. I think this is just an example of maybe they didn't truly believe him. Their faith was still, kind of weak in that moment. And so I take that as a sharpening moment for me and my own walk with the Lord. Like, okay, if I'm going through difficulty, his word tells me that I will face that, but his word also says that he is victorious. His word also says that I have peace, that I can, he is with me. He will never leave me or forsake me. So I can take heart in those moments. And then also I just need to be anticipating that resurrection, right? I can anticipate the that his resurrection would be, evident in my life every day, but there's still something else coming beyond the resurrection. He's coming back.
That's right.
And so I don't look at like, I can't live today as the disciples lived on Saturday, right? Like quiet and just like, well, I got to see what happens next. I have to live my life in anticipation of his coming back.
Yeah,
every
that's
single
really
day.
good.
So
That's really good. And then you think about the disciples early on, and then they understood it, right?
Right.
After the ascension, he's like, "Well, I'm going to come back," and so they kept on waiting, right?
Right.
Looking up. It says at one point the disciples had to say, "What are you looking up there for?" Right?
Yeah.
The work
Yeah.
is ahead. And I imagine back then that they were thinking like, "Hey, I can't really do anything on Saturday because Jesus might be coming back,"
Yeah.
And now that we've got 2,000 years down the road, we don't do that anymore,
Right.
Because we've been waiting for 2,000 years, and so what we do now is we drop our guard.
Yep.
Right? We drop our
Yeah,
guard.
we don't have the urgency.
We don't, yeah, but he is still coming back.
Yeah, he is.
Right? He's still coming back, and even if he doesn't come back in our lifetime, and that means that our lifetime will still end.
That's right.
So we still need to live as though he's coming back
Exactly.
today, because
That's right.
we don't know that
Yeah.
he's not.
Eternity is a breath away.
Yes.
For us, for other people,
Yes.
and so that's something that we have to remember. And
Live with that kind of urgency,
Yep,
for
yep,
sure.
yep.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So today is Easter Eve.
Yep,
Happy
it is.
Easter
Happy
Eve, John.
Easter Eve.
We're going to coin that. Let's make a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Right?
Sons of Thunder.
Shouldn't trademark it,
No,
right?
no,
I don't want
no,
to make money
no.
off it. I don't want to make money off it.
No.
But Easter Eve, you heard it here first on the Sons
That's
of
right.
Thunder podcast, all right? So I hope you guys have a great Easter. If you have no place to go for church on Easter Sunday morning, we'd love to have you. generationsbrandon.com/Easter, all the information for it. You'll see us up there. You'll see the Sons of Thunder on Easter Sunday morning. We have a sunrise service.
That's right.
At a funeral home here in the area,
Yeah.
which is really cool. And then we have 2 services, 9 and 11 o'clock on Sunday morning,
That's right.
which is really awesome. So
Baptism that day too, which is
baptism
going to
on
be
Sunday morning?
really exciting.
so cool. Yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be an amazing day. So if you have no place else to go, you're welcome. We'd love to have
We
you.
love it.
generationsbrandon.com/Easter will give you all the information, and we'll save a seat for you, right?
Yes, we will.
We'll have a spot for you, all right? So happy Easter Eve, everybody, and hope to see you tomorrow. If
Yes.
not, find some place to go, because you need to be in church
That's right.
tomorrow to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, all right?
That's right.
Sons of Thunder podcast.
All right, yeah.
We did it.
Bring
Bye,
the
guys.
thunder.
Bring the thunder.